A very, very beautiful morning to you. You're welcome to Sports Talk on Atlantic Television Network. And of course, my name is Kingsley Mano, and we have a lot for you this morning. Top on our menu, Lagos City Marathon organizers issue statements after crowd surge. And coming in from Para Games, National Para Games promises world-class setting. And in football, Benfica hosts Real Madrid in UEFA Champions League playoff tonight, and it promises, of course, to be another exciting night of UEFA Champions League football. Take a break. When we return, we'll bring you the latest revolving around the beautiful world of sports. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Yeah, welcome back, Steve Sports Talk on Atlantic Television Network. And joining me this morning to do justice to the latest we have on our menu is Emmanuel Michael. Mike, good morning to you and welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me this morning. Glad to be here.
All right, let's take a look at the Lagos City Marathon we saw over the weekend. We hear that Lagos City Marathon organizers extend its deepest appreciation to the tens of thousands of runners who participated in the 2026 edition of the Lagos City Marathon. In a statement, they said, and I quote, "We remain immensely proud of every athlete's determination and the vibrant spirit that continues to make this marathon a defining moment for Lagos and Nigeria. However, we acknowledge with sincere concern that during medal distribution following the 10-kilometer race category, an unexpected and dangerous crowd surge occurred at the 10-kilometer medal collection point, and the interest of protecting the safety of our runners, volunteers and staff, medal issuance was temporarily suspended while the situation was brought under control. This decision was taken solely as a safety precaution to prevent potential injuries. Of course, that is coming from the organizers. Meanwhile, Lagos State has opened an investigation into the unfortunate incident which occurred during the medal presentation. So, Mike, this is the organizers trying to do damage control at this point in time. But what do you make of it? The Lagos Marathon race has been in existence for so many years, and we've not heard things like this. What would have probably prompted this particular one, to be this way?
I think for me, first off, you have to talk about the organizers. They know that definitely during the finishing line, the marathoners will definitely want to take their medals. And that is why where I thought maybe they had somehow failing to do the needful, put everything in place before the final lap of that marathon out there. As we saw some imposters per se, people who were not accredited for the marathon, people who do not have any business, who did not even finish within the podium, just rushing down to the medals distribution end to be given medals, whereas they are not a genuine and bona fide competitor, in that marathon race. And that actually led to the crowd surge which you saw, and he had to take the organizers a bit of a time and the coordination before they can be able to resolve that issue. But at some point, medals were halted from not being distributed to the eventual winners just because they just wanted everything to be in place. And then again, you must also ask the question on why the Nigerian Athletic Federation did not send their own men on ground, because I believe this marathon wasn't just sanctioned by the global body, but it must also be sanctioned by the Athletic Federation, meaning that they also have a stake in it, because no state can just wake up to start organizing a marathon of such a magnitude without the involvement, without the knowledge and awareness of the Athletic Federation. And that is why I say the Athletic Federation of Nigeria also maybe did not do their own proper organization before giving them that nod to host such massive maybe because of the success of the past, they thought that everything is going to be the same, because this is the 11th year running. It is the 11th edition of the Lagos City Marathon. So the success of past maybe had beclouded them from not paying attention or little to some of these little details on how to organize themselves, or how to watch out for the marathoners, those that are credible, those that are genuinely, participants of that 11th edition. And I guess it is the reason. So for me, Athletic Federation of Nigeria erred by not putting their own men on ground to do a proper, background check and put in some of those details, information in place. And then the organizers, talking about the LOC, the local organizing committee, also they did not do a proper work, because knowing fully well that at the finishing end of every lap or during the process where medals will be given away or distributed, there will be some imposters who just want to go there and, collect medals for which they are not part and parcel of it. But then we hear that the Lagos state government has also instituted an investigation panel to wade into this matter and dig deep to see the end of it. I just believe that they can come out a positive finding, and then those who erred should be properly punished so that it will serve as a deterrent to others in next edition.
All right, let's see how it goes this time around. I think this time the marathon was not properly organized. I actually saw when an ambulance actually climbed, on an outlet. So many things actually went wrong, and I just hope that the organizers will look for a way to be able to put things right, going forward at this point in time. Away from that, let's bring you other issues coming from athletics as Tito Odu Naki has edged his name into British athletics history by becoming the youngest ever men's triple jump champion at the UK Indoor Championship. Odunaki, who is of Nigerian descent, sealed victory with a final round leap of 15.75 meters, a performance that stunned the crowd and confirmed his status as one of the brightest young prospects in the sport. He started with a jump of 15.14 meters and 15.14 meters, followed by a non-jump. At this point, he was fifth in the fourth round. He took the lead by 2 centimeters with 15.84 meters, and in the final round he found a big jump of 15.75 meters to win by 17 centimeters down there. His achievement is part of a growing wave of athletes of Nigerian heritage making headlines across global athletics. Mike, this is good news, especially for the man as well as Nigeria to say.
Definitely good news for him. Odunaike, the first youngest athlete to put up such impressive feat. It comes with a whole lot of dedication. It comes with a whole lot of hard work, and just like you mentioned there, it's part of the growing waves of Nigerian athletes overseas, doing the country proud, either donning on the JC of the Nigeria or under the colors of other nations out there. But then I think for Dunaike, it just shows that Nigerians, we can survive and distinguish ourselves in anywhere we find ourselves. Given the right environment, we can even achieve more. So I just hope that he continue to develop, because creating this record, it doesn't just come easy. The youngest ever man's in the triple jump champion at a UK Indoor Championship. This is a very incredible record for him, and it's going to stand the test of time. At this point, more development is still need to be done by him, because it doesn't just end here. There must be that consistency. There must be the aim for him to aim high. So I think I'm pretty happy. So far, so good. This 2026 season. I think most of Nigerian, athletes and Nigerian decent sportsmen and women, they are doing great things over there in yonder since the start of this year. We've seen a couple of them, putting up impressive display out there. It looks more like it's going to be a very bright year for the Nigerian Athletic Federation. The only worry here is about the fact that most of these athletes, some have been complaining a lot about their welfare package, about a whole lot of things which have actually, forced some of them to switch allegiance to other countries. The one that is currently on board, that is hogging the headlines right now, is about Favor Ashe, and as well as others who intend to switch allegiance because of the welfare package and a whole lot of things that they are complaining about. So for Athletic Federation of Nigeria, it is a very great year, a bright one for them, for Nigerian athletes over there in abroad and other countries. But then they must as well be able to put their house in order as well, so that some of these young athletes that are doing pretty well right now can see reasons for them to actually represent their father's land. Because when things are going this way, those of them that have not made a proper decision on which country they want to represent will be carried away. They wouldn't even think of, donning on the colors of the green and white. That is Nigeria, again, because of some of these, ugly stories and tales that you will be hearing. So a lot need to be done by the Athletic Federation of Nigeria if we must positively tap into some of these Nigerian young athletes based overseas.
All right, let's just see how this one, of course, will go then. Very huge one down there, for the man. We just hope that he continue with the impressive performance, going forward. And away from that, the One African Conference has a wrap-up in style with the National Sport Commission Chairman Malam Shehu Diko declaring the event officially closed. The conference was a hotspot for impactful talks, a strategic partnership, and a renewed push for African road running growth. Diko praised the event as a defining moment for African athletics, setting a new bar for collaboration and professionalism. Key outcomes include plans to boost governance, integrity, and commercial viability in running, with attendees vying to implement changes. The work begins now. The National Sport Commission DG said, talked about Bukola Olapade. And the conference brought together key stakeholders in athletics, race organization, media, broadcasting, and integrity and community development, delivering high-level workshops and panel sections focused on technical excellence, anti-doping, race credibility, sustainable partnership, and global media positioning. All right, let's start away from that as we bring you the latest from the Para Games. As of course, world-class national Para Games are in the offing following a constitution of the competition's local organizing committee. The games are an annual multi-sports event organized by the federal government of Nigeria through the National Sport Commission. The championship provides a competitive platform for Nigerian men and women living with disabilities, prompting excellence, healthy competition, and national unity through sport. The National Sport Commission constituted the 13th member local organizing committee tasked the committee to deliver the games under an atmosphere of fair play and sportsmanship in line with global best practices. The local organizing committee is chaired by the director of National Sport Festival and Para Sports Department, Mr. Tesla Opara. Mike, I don't know what you make of the Para Games that will be coming up this time around. Para athletes, as they've always been putting up their best at every point in time. This is also another opportunity for them to show class. And they talk about putting up a world-class setting, ahead of this particular one.
I think for me it is one thing for we to put up a top, such strongly worded statements on the media. It goes beyond that. It's about the genuineness of some of these strategies that have been outlined on the media. Beyond the media, can we actually see the real work on ground? And this is what I'm hoping for. You and I know how incredible that the para athletes of Nigeria they have done over the years. In fact, they've done extremely well compared to their able-bodied counterparts. We keep talking about the reward system, that the achievement vis-a-vis the reward system that have been getting since the inception of them doing the national pride is not commensurate with the efforts that they've been putting out there. But now, I think now bringing it back home, the local organizing committee has been constituted by men and women of high respect within the global community of Nigerian para-athletics, and not just Nigerian para-athletics, but regional and, of course, continental. These are people, seasoned administrators, people who have seen it all, that know the right thing to do in order for we to get it better. So I believe that this one is just a stepping stone towards the great things that we are going to see from our para-athlete. And having said that, our para-athletes have done extremely well, yes, and this time around, I believe they say that charity begins at home. We must also do well to reward them pretty well for this particular event, not just organizing a top-notch activities at the end of it all. This para-athlete doesn't gain anything tangible from it. they should be properly rewarded, and that is going to boost their morale when we are going for continental or global competition.
All right, let's see how this one will go. Understand that the games are scheduled to hold from 26th of March to 3rd of April 2026 at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, same venue that hosted the previous editions as well. Let's talk fencing this morning as we hear that Nigerian sword fighting sensation Nkosi Bru has built up ahead of steam ahead of his participation in this week's African Junior Fencing Championship in Dakar, Senegal. This was after he finished a respectable 6th position in the International Fencing Federation World Cup that concluded at the weekend in the Senegalese capital. This week, Bru will lead Nigeria's contingents comprising Mekta Idongesit and the likes of Sarah as well. They will also be in action, of course, in this particular one. Speaking ahead of the Continental Championship, Nigeria national coach Ibrahim Alogba, who traveled with the team from Lagos, expressed confidence in Bru's ability to deliver. Another moment for fencers, to showcase their prowess one time, and all eyes on the man, Bru.
Definitely, I think he's been a rising star, one that we need to also watch out for. And I think he's actually break the barrier of, not just a local competitor, but to the global stage, as he has been making a remarkable progress so far. Don't forget that he participated in the fencing championship in Dakar, where he was able to finish 6th among other top contenders as well. And I think for me, this name Bru is one that is going to stick for a very long time in our memory. In our course as well, the likes of the Idongesin sisters, talking about Sarah. You can't also forget Thomas as well. So if you take a look at it from the world of fencing, we seems to be making progress. There is another fence as well, but not based in Nigeria. In Nigerian descent, based out there in the United States of America, that was talking about the time of a switch of allegiance, and I'm still waiting to hear what the Nigerian Fencing Federation is up to regarding that. So if you have some of these young gems, at this very early stage, doing us proud, taking us high to the global stage, fighting among the best, fencing players, it means that fencing has a future. Quite disappointing though. 2 years ago, we had how they were facing some, financial crisis, where even when they were bid to go for a regional or continental competition, the then sport minister John Wanuna will say that they don't have money in the purse to give them. They should go and cater for themselves, see how to source us for fun. And then the president was also on ground. He did everything possible to take some of these players with their own personal money to ensure that they honor such continental games. And at the end of it all, it seems to be paying off gradually, because we are seeing names, that are also competing. Not just locally, not just continentally, but at the global stage. The likes of Bru, Nkosi, like I've mentioned, Sarah, Idongesena, the sister, then Thomas. These are names that, if properly harnessed and nurtured, I think they can do exploits. And I just love the passion of the president. Despite the gloomy days, he did not give up. There was still this surge. There was this fire in him that was just burning for him to keep moving. If not, with all of the financial distraction and inadequacies that they've encountered in the past years, I think if you are not up and doing, you should have even resigned as a president of such federation, where you are not given access fund for you to do the things that you would love to do. At this point, these few names that are also doing great, I believe, if proper attention is given to them, take them overseas, get them exposed to some of the best facilities, because you and I know that fencing in Nigeria here, to be particular, you cannot progress. You can't develop pretty well right here in Nigeria because we don't have the really adequate facilities for them to train with. It's more like going to a place where you have the climate, going to a place where you have the tools. Then Nigerians, like I have stated earlier, wherever you put them in the right place, in the right condition, just leave it for them because they will definitely excel. And this is what I expect these young ones, to do if a proper and adequate care and attention is given to them. I see them being a world beater, maybe in the next 3 or 2 years to come, taking a look at the progress of Brew.
Let's see how it goes at this point in time. Nigerian fencers getting ready to put a very impressive performance, this time around. Away from that, let's bring the latest coming from tennis as world number one. Carlos Alcaraz said he is still ironing out weaknesses in his game, even after capturing all 4 Grand Slam titles by the age of 32, as he returns to action at the Qatar Open this week. The Spaniard became the youngest man to complete the career Grand Slam when he beat 24-time major winner Novak Djokovic in the Australian Open final. That was, of course, last month. Mike, what do you make of this statement from Carlos Alcaraz? It seems that the man still has a lot, of course, in him. Looking at the fact that I actually came out to say he's still trying, of course, to amend his weaknesses, despite putting up such an impressive performance at the age of 22.
You see, when you see a man that is on a mission, on an accomplished mission, you definitely know the way he prepares, the way he talks. I would definitely tell you that there is still more to offer from Carlos Alcaraz. This is a man that have made record, the youngest player at this youngest age, at this young age rather, to win all the 4 major. It doesn't come easy, but despite that, he's not being carried away by the whole euphoria and excitement of being the youngest player to win all 4 majors. But then he still notices that there are some lapses that he needs to work on. All right, that is to tell you that it is a man that is still trying to perfect his game out there. And if you want to get better in life, it's just about improvement. You don't just remain static and think that you've known it all. If not, learning would have been stopped whenever you finish, either nursery, primary, or even the tertiary institution. But learning never stops, and this is why some persons are exceptionally different and gifted among others, because when you think that you stops, where the fire stops burning, that is when where the next man fire continue to light up. And I think this is what Carlos Alcaraz is doing. He's not being carried away by the success that he has achieved already. He still reckoned that there are some areas that he needs to improve, and I can tell you, with this kind of a mentality, he might just be one of the greatest tennis player that the world will ever see.
All right, let's see how it goes for the man Carlos Alcaraz. Still has more in him, of course, to offer, and we look forward to see what, of course, this season holds for him. At this point, we'll take a break. When we return, we'll bring the latest revolving around the beautiful world of football. Stay with us right back. You're welcome back. Steve Sports Talk on Atlantic Television Network, and we'll bring you the latest revolving round the beautiful world of sport. Time to talk football on the show this morning, and I will start from the home saying now the nationwide League One. The statutory body in charge of Nigeria's grassroots football held an intensive professional development training for its staff in a 3-day retreat at the nation's capital Abuja. The participants of the retreat were drawn from key departments in the NLO Secretariat as it countdown to 2025 and 2026 football calendar. Fixture planning and confirmation stage was a core highlight for participants as they had to confirm the release and finalize the fixture list and check dates, kickoff times, venues, and home and away status while checking for conflicts, international windows, weather-prone periods, or double headers. And then the representative had to verify that both clubs accept the fixture and notify of any venue changes. Monitor club licensing status, initial venue suitability, any broadcasting or sponsorship commitments. Only approved stadiums by the NFL will be used for matches, as over 80% of matches will be live streamed and commercialization will be activated. Mike, I think this is a welcome development from the organizers of the NNO.
Definitely. As the season is about to kick off, they need to actually do a total appraisal of the past season and then chart a way forward for the new season, trying to dot the I's and cross the T's. These are some of the things that as an organization you need to do. You need to preempt, all right, what is going to happen in future and be able to say, okay, these are what we are going to do if, for example, this happens. And of course, checking the pitches of some of the National League teams is very key, because so that you don't go and when the league gets started, you start banning teams from playing in their home ground because of the fact that probably it did not meet up with the standard. And then again, check the calendars, fixtures, and try to see how you align them. If some have some conflicting, fixture, there is need for you to de-escalate some of those fixtures and make it very easy and simple for teams. Also, this is what an organized body looks at for. You preempt what is to come in the future and probably take the right step or the right measure that will also avert such incident that may not just go well when you get to that time. You don't just sit until when the boat has finally rocked. That is where you begin to look for a way out. So for me, I think I must give them kudos in that stakeholders meeting. Certain things were definitely discussed. The club owners as well were also there to also air their own opinion on the way forward on what the things that might just be the mitigating factor for them not to meet up with certain criteria, and they discuss it and find a way forward so that when the league gets underway, then it will be on a smooth sailing. So I must commend the NLO for this high-stake meeting.
Impressive one, and we'll see how it goes at this point in time. We hope all of this, of course, will be achieved. I'm really much interested in seeing the games being streamed, and as well see revenue in the NNO at this point in time. That, of course, would be a morale booster going forward. And still talking Nigerian football, tension erupted in Ilorin over the weekend as some young supporters reportedly mobbed journalists shortly after the match day 26 encounter between Kwara United and Kano Pillars. The incidents occurred at the Rashidi Yakini main bowl of the George Ini Stadium in Lorraine, where the match ended in a 1-0 draw. According to reports, the journalist Sodiq Adebara of Radio Nigeria, Radio Nigerian correspondent, was mistakenly identified as the match officials who officiated the highly contested fixture. Eyewitnesses disclosed that the situation could have escalated into a more serious crisis if not for the swift intervention of the chairman of the Sport Writers Association of Nigeria, Kwara State Chapter, Malam Ayodeji Isma, alongside Adu Momo, Tony Sahid, Malam Mustafa Abubakar, and Bolaji Yakub, who are members of the association. Their timely response helped to calm tensions and ensure the safety of the affected journalists. Michael, what do you make of it? Fans in Kano are not, putting things, easy at this point in time. Despite several fines, to their teams, they are still hostile, to match officials, to journalists. What do you think, would have been, of course, the reason for all of this? Talking about the northern fans, not yielding to the league's instruction. They do what they want to do, no matter what, no matter the consequences. How would this situation be addressed? Because it's really, really disturbing.
First off, I think we must get to the root of all of this, because it's not just one time. This is not the second time. It is not the third time. Fines has been meted out, a point deduction. A team has been banned from playing at their home ground. But it seems that all of this has not really, paid much, result. Although I know it's not going to be a one-day thing, because they say that Rome is not built in a day. But then there must be some level of tranquility at some period of time, so that at least we know that some of these fines and levy, this punishment is really affecting these clubs. But then you see that Kano, you see that is happening in the West, but then majorly I think it's been Kano. That is not to say that I'm singling out the northern area for blame alone. It cut across all the match venues, but then the case of the northern region is becoming very uncontrollable. Like just a few months ago, Kano Pillars, all right, their fans were also fined, or the club rather, because of the behavior of their fans. They are at this point where you should expect them, at least such caution that happened to their neighboring team should have been more like an eye-opener for them to sit up and do the right thing. But then we still see some fans going overboard to attack match officials. Just imagine, that was a journalist, but they mistaken him to be the center ref who officiated that game, and that is why they nearly mobbed him. Thank God for some of the Sport Writers Association members, senior members that were there, who knows if they were not there to probably identify him as a member of the Sport Writers Association, as a journalist, maybe by now we should be talking about a different thing altogether. And I think for me it's not a way forward. How do we address this? I think clubs must go down to the root of it all. Try to educate your fans. Try to educate your followers. I know that the Nigerian Premier Football League board, they are also doing their own bid. But just finding a club or sanctioning them won't just do it. Because there are some of these fans who are still not properly in tune with the actions or inaction which they take on a match day, not knowing that it's going to affect their team negatively. And that is why I call for club orientation and reorientation of their fans. Some time ago, the Nigerian Orientation Agency, sometime this should be their job, it's part of their job. All right, let's get down to the root of it all. They should collaborate with some of these clubs and share ideas. Oh, let us carve a day out and invite all our fans, probably a Saturday, all right, or a day that that at least it will be free, that the team is not maybe having a game. Invite all your fans. Let them be properly educated on the implication of their actions during match days, that it rubs off on the clubs negatively. Because if that if my clubs is being fined 10 million naira, or if my clubs is being deducted 3 points and 3 goals and given to their opponent, it is a disservice to me as a fan of that club. I wouldn't want such bad thing to happen, because some of them, they are doing these things because of the love that they have for their clubs, all right? They are doing these things just thinking that they are fighting for their own club. They want good thing to come to their, but they are doing it in the wrong way. So by the time they get reoriented, educated, to know that the implication of their action is rubbing off negatively, even though their own intention is to see that their clubs thrive well, but then they are going it in a wrong way. I think it will probably be caught. But if we continue to dish out fine against clubs and the needful is not done by educating the fans right from the grassroots, my brother will still continue to hear and see this kind of ugly scenario.
All right, not a good one at this point in time. I know in the Nigerian Premier Football League, I think a lot of things need to be done to make sure, especially fans in the north, they have to adhere to the rules of the game. Away from that, the date for the crucial final round of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifier between Nigeria's Falconets and Malawi has been confirmed. Nigeria's Falconets booked their place in the last round after edging Senegal 3-1 on aggregate in the previous stage of the qualifiers. Malawi, on their part, secured qualification after a commanding performance against Guinea-Bissau to advance to the decisive round. According to the schedule released, the first leg of the tie will take place in Nigeria between May 1st and 3rd, 2026. And second leg is slated for Bitra, Malawi between May 8th and 10th, 2026. The winner over the two legs will earn a ticket to represent Africa at the upcoming FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup scheduled to be hosted in Poland. And let's, of course, talk football rights here in Nigeria, as the Nigerian Football Federation has cautioned Super Eagles head coach Eric Chell against entertaining offers from for rival suitors amid growing speculation about his future. Chell, who for the 8 years was appointed in January 2025 following the dismissal of Eso Pesero and the resignation finished the judge after a disappointing one in the qualifiers for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Amid report linking Chell with the vacant Angola national team position following the dismissal of Patrice Buomele, the NFF has reportedly reminded the coach of his contractual obligations at this point. Mike, so the Nigeria Football Federation are saying that Richel should not listen to any offer, at this point, especially from rivals.
Yeah, I think, is this right? Yeah. Is this wrong? Maybe not. Because Eric Chell is still under contract with the Nigerian Football Federation, although the discussion was to extend his contract. This is what Nigerians are saying, all right? But the man is still under contract, still being tied down because he still have a running contract, running, and I think it is the reason why NFF. And coupled with the fact that we are hearing different stories, left, right, and center. You see that Egypt coming for his services, or you see that Tunisia, you see that his former side, Mali, and different other countries. We even hear that Marcel is also chasing after him as we speak right now, because they let go of Roberto Di Zerbi just a few days ago, and it's likely if he gets a better offer from the Marcel side, he might just go there. Why? Because the language is okay with it. He's been there before in the French League. All right, he has coached 1 or 2 teams out there. He speaks French fluently, and if he gets double or tries the salary package or the salary range of what he's earning presently with the Nigerian Super Eagles, don't you think that it's going to move? And I guess it is the fear of the NFF that if this man gets a better offer, probably he's going to dump the Super Eagles after using the platform to, of course, gain popularity. Because I can tell you that the Super Eagles job is one of the biggest in global football, and people just want to, be there because Nigeria, we've got the talent, we've got the money, and this is why it was a very good platform for Richel to sell, his football philosophy, which have also attracted so many interests from far and wide. So I believe that the NFF, they are not out of a place by cautioning Richel, because there will be tempting offers coming his way. Who knows, as we speak right now, some may have come, but then not yet disclosed. So I think NFF, they are just trying to be on the defensive side to let this man know, come on, hey, you are still under contract, you are obligated to finish your contract. Therefore, if you enter into negotiation with other teams or with other suitors, then you are running afoul of the contract terms and conditions, because I believe all of these were properly spelled down before, of course, he put pen to paper and become the coach of the Super Eagles. But the fear of not of losing him, rather, I think is what the NFF is trying to guide against.
Of course, let's see how it goes. But Mike, yesterday we were expecting the verdict of FIFA On, of course, the case, of course, being filed by the Nigerian Football Federation of DR Congo feeding in ineligible players in their World Cup qualifiers. But we've not heard anything yet from FIFA. Why the delay?
I think we just need to wait because these issues are very sensitive. All right, it could come with a whole lot of pressure and tension because the world will be waiting to see where the pendulum swings. And for FIFA, they are treading with caution as well, not to commit any blunder so that the shame will not rub off on them, because their action, their decision is going to tell a whole lot. I mean, they will be setting a precedence either for good or for bad. And I think the reason for the cautiousness from FIFA, we'll just wait. We'll definitely see to the end of it all, because it's not going to slide down, forever. It's just a matter of time. But for now, no concrete report regarding, although there are some reports flying around the social media that verdicts have been given either for or against the Super Eagles, but I had to put call across to the glass house yesterday night, whose name I wouldn't want to mention, who actually confirmed that there is nothing of such yet. So we still await the official verdict of FIFA.
All right, we'll keep our fingers crossed and see what FIFA will say at this point in time. But the UEFA Champions League makes a return tonight, and it is the playoff round. As we'll see Galatasaray, they will lock once against Juventus. Benfica was to be national against Real Madrid. Borussia Dortmund against Atalanta. Monaco will be national against Paris Saint-Germain. And it's, of course, promises to be another exciting one, in the UEFA Champions League playoff round. Mike, I don't know what you make of it. How do you see this one? Victor Osimhen, Galatasaray side, trying to see if, of course, they can skate through with their key man Osimhen. A lot of expectation at this point in time. Do you see them scaling through this one ahead of Juventus?
I think the hunger will be there for Galatasaray. All right, Maro Icardi is back, and some of their great players. Victor Osimhen, we saw him play more like a creative role in their last game out there, which is another part of his game that we are beginning to see, learning how to create chances for your teammate as well. But then the fact that Juventus are one of the front runners for Victor Osimhen's signature will just be the icing on the cake tonight for the Nigerian hitman to, of course, market himself to Juventus once again in front of their home fans tonight. And it promises to be an exciting one. Galatasaray, they are a very solid team out there, but then take a look at the pedigree of both clubs. You might want to give it to Juventus on paper, but then football, really, it is not played on paper. It's about what you give out, that is what you get on the pitch of play. But then it's going to be a tight encounter. The spotlight or the gaslight will be centered around Victor Osimhen, because, like I said, Juventus and Barca, they are the top contender leading for his signature. So I believe that is going to give him extra edge to perform extraordinary things tonight. And moving on to the second game, Benfica against Real Madrid is another cracker. You and I know how miraculously Benfica got to the playoff where they needed that last-minute goal from the hero of the night, talking about the goalkeeper, Trubin, who became, is it the seventh goalkeeper to score in the UEFA Champions League, that gifted them that last-minute kick to ensure that they find their way into the knockout stage playoff as it is right now. But for Real Madrid, you and I know the pedigree, all right, of Real Madrid. You can't just write them off any day, any time when it has to do with the Champions League. A 15-time, UEFA Champions League winner. So I just want to see good football tonight.
We look forward to see beautiful football in the UEFA Champions League tonight. But Mike, it was very, very disturbing yesterday. FC Barcelona lost once again in the Spanish La Liga, this time to Girona, and they're 2-1 in favor of Girona in that particular encounter. What's happening? I think this is back-to-back losses for FC Barcelona. They lost against Atletico. Now they're losing against Girona.
Not a good one at all. Very bad sign. I mean, more like the Catalan-based giant. They are, crossing the red line per se, because it's very hard and difficult for you to see Barca losing back-to-back game. In fact, they were embarrassed in the Copa del Rey quarterfinal against Atletico, where they were trumped 4 goals to nothing. You know, Hansi Flick, the coach, almost beat up his players, you know, for the fun of it. But then against Girona, you don't expect Barca to lose 4-0 and lose the next game. So I think it was such a shocking result for me. They took the first lead. Girona responded before taking the lead in the dying minute, and it is not a good one at all. The pressure might just beginning to pile on Hansi Flick, because right now Madrid have closing the gap, and game on in the La Liga.
Game on in the Spanish La Liga. We also saw some other results as well as Lecce were able to get past Cagliari 2-0 in that particular encounter. We'll bring you more of the results when we make a return, of course, you know, by 6 p.m. Today promises to be another exciting time. We'll take an in-depth preview on the UEFA Champions League games tonight. Special thanks to Mike for doing justice on the show this morning, and for you, we really do appreciate your time with us this morning. You can go down to our different social media handles: Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube. The conversation, of course, continues right there. My name is Kingsley Mano. Thanks for watching.